In this video, we're going to do a mobility workout. The workout incorporates my background of training, which is primarily as a dancer, but there's also elements of Pilates, yoga, a little bit of conditioning in there too. If you're somebody that's sat at the desk and kind of crumped over, this is just going to help to open you out. It's going to make you feel looser, you get the blood pumping around the body and just generally get you feeling good. You can use this workout of its own accord, or you can use it alongside any other workout that you're doing. So if you're training for strength, you could use this as a way to warm up into that session, or afterwards, or one in the morning, one in the evening, however works best for you. To approach this workout, you can follow along with me. However, if there are moments when you need to pause and analyse what I'm doing, please feel free to do that and press play when you're ready to go. So to start with, we're just going to take some high knees. I like to keep my hands on my hips just to make sure I can feel that crease. I'm lifting the legs as high as I can. We're not going for speed, we're just kind of concentrating on finding a real nice high, slow, steady pace here. Good. So as we move through this, we're just going to be switching on the core muscles slightly and encouraging the hips to wake up as we go. Okay, we'll go for 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Good. And then we're going to come to the side of our mat and we're just going to take some roll downs through the spine. So leading from the top of your head, tucking the chin down, we roll all the way through each vertebrae down. And you're just going to reverse that movement, starting from the bottom all the way up. And going again, chin tucks down, all the way down. You can keep the knees bent to make it a nice comfortable roll down. We're not trying to work too much into the hamstrings, just to start with. Good, we take 2 more like this. And curling all the way back up. This time just adding the arms in, so we bring the arms all the way up, fold them in through the center, hands pull down, and we go for that roll down. We start to roll up, the arms come out to the side, reaching above, through the center and down. This is just encouraging the whole body to start to work together and for us to start getting the shoulders a little bit warmer as we move through. Good, we take 1 more here. And you bring it all the way through to hang out here. From here, we're just going to walk forwards into a plank position, keeping a nice tight glutes as you move through it and walking it back in. You're not going to roll up this time, you're going to stay in that low position, just moving forwards and back. And we're just encouraging the core to switch on slightly and also waking up those shoulders, wrists and arms. Good, taking 1 more into that, finding that high plank position. You're going to step your leg forward into a nice long lunge and you're going to place the back knee down onto the floor. And you can release that foot. From here, we're just going to take a few rock throughs. So I'm going to come back so that I'm stretching the hamstring this time. You don't have to have the leg straight, you can have a bend in the knee there. I'm going to push forward into the hip. So I push back, hamstring, and then hip. Good, 1 more here. And then we're going to start to take little circles with that front knee. So we start by going outwards. And again, this is just encouraging the ankles to wake up and the hips in different ranges of motion. Reverse that circle, so you start to bring it inwards. Good. And then release that back knee. This time we're just going to take a twist towards that leg. So you release the same hand as foot and you're reaching all the way up. Taking a deep breath in. As you breathe out, you're thinking of lengthening through the top fingers of this left hand. One more deep breath in. One more reach. Good. Placing that hand down, bring yourself back into a plank position and walk yourself back in. Just take a moment to hang out here, nod the head yes, shake the head no, make sure you're nice and relaxed. And we go for a few more of those walkouts. And in. If you start to feel a little bit warmer, we can pick up the pace slightly and feel a little bit more fire building in those legs and abs. And we're going to go for the same thing on the other side. So bringing that foot up to the side, placing the knee down, let go of the foot, and we push back. Ooh. Hearing some clicking going on, it's always a good sign. Rocking into that. And you're just working into a range that is good for you, so there's no need to feel that you should have completely straight leg as you come back here. If you're feeling a really great hamstring stretch within this range, then that's absolutely fine. You stay there and you just keep working till you can get that bit further. Then we take those little circles in the knee. Make sure with this you're keeping your foot completely planted the whole time, so we're not going to lift up or rock out, but it's nice and flat through that foot. Good, bringing it in, releasing the knee up and extending that hand up. Taking that deep breath in and reaching away. By doing this, we're just encouraging the body to open up into that rotation a little bit more each time. Just taking a deep breath in and reaching out. Good. Bringing that hand down. Take the foot back. And then this time we're just going to release the knees down. Come into a child's pose position. So reaching the hands out in front of you and relaxing the forehead down to the floor. Taking a deep breath in and breathing out. So we're just gradually stretching into that back and through the arms. Deep breath in. Breathing out. Rock yourself forward into a tabletop position. And from here, we're just going to take an arch position and then pull it into a curve. So initially, I'm kind of thinking about this curve happening through the lower back to begin with. And just finding that pelvis tilting and arching to its maximum. Try and move nice and slowly through these. It's not a race, you're just trying to find those end ranges of movement. Good. Bring that back to flat position, and we're just going to take a little look towards the back heel. I'm keeping from my hips down a nice still body. It's only the top of me that is kind of working side to side here. And coming back to your flat back. We then take the arches, and we're thinking much more this time about going through the scapula, so really lifting the top part of the back and then sinking down in those shoulder blades. So your head might not come up as much, it's more about the shoulder blades here. Pushing through and sinking through the shoulder blades. You might find that this position in particular is slightly stiffer. Especially if you work at a desk, you'll find that this part of your back is the one that gets very stiff from the lack of movement up there. So this is a really great one for opening out into that position. Good, finding that flat back. And one more time, coming into those little side rotations. We don't often kind of move side to side in the spine. So this is a good way to get a little bit of side to side motion in there. Good. And then coming back, you're going to tuck your toes under this time, just to find a real stretch in these feet. And again, it's not always something we focus on, but we're going to try and open up the feet a little bit here. So sitting back on them, you won't have to do a lot until you start to feel that burn. We're just going to take a few roll downs through the spine. So hands clasped behind the head. You're just going to pull the head forward and start to roll. This is more just to take your mind off the pain of the feet, whilst giving you a nice little stretch through the neck and the top of the back. And you just move through this nice and slowly. Try and add a bit of weight to your hands. That will help you find that stretch down the back of the spine. You should start to feel that burn in those feet now. I know I am. So you're just going to release the feet. Whoo, and come back. We're going to rock onto the back of the feet here and just find ourselves hanging over this position. And we're just going to take a little twist round to the side with the knees and back to center. Twist and round. I'm just going to show you that from the front position so you can see what's happening. I'm finding my heels are raised and I'm just hanging over the top of this position. Keeping both hands down, I'm gently going to twist both knees one way. I'm kind of keeping the top of my body facing towards my hands. And then I twist and go to the other side. Again, this is just encouraging a little rotation through the spine, kind of waking it up in a different way. Once you get used to that, you can start to take one hand off the hand towards the way you're twisting and come through the middle and twist. And we're just finding a little bit of a breath with this. You can use your elbow to drive up the top of that movement. And then bringing it back to a still place in the center. Bringing yourself around onto your bum. Again, I'm going to face you, but you can come to a way that's more comfortable. Feet in front of you. We're just going to take some rocks through the hips. So I'm sending both knees over to one side. Just allowing gravity to take me there. And I'm going to come to one side, come all the way over the top of that shin to start with. Just relax into there, finding a gentle glute stretch. And then I'm going to begin to walk that round over the top of that thigh. Bring yourself back through the center. Rock over to the other side, and we do exactly the same the other way. So coming over the top of that shin, and we're thinking always about lengthening out and away rather than tucking under and down, just to find some length in that spine. Walking it around to the back. and then bring it all the way back up and into center. We're just gonna bring our soles of our feet together and come over to this frog position. So reaching the hands forward, just relaxing in the front. Again, really think about trying to lengthen away rather than tucking right under here. You should probably feel this in the hips and also the lower back as you stretch forwards. And you can do whatever you need to. Sometimes it's quite nice to give the knees a little push down. It gives you an extra little stretch in those hips. Cool. And we're going to come into a slightly more active mobility. So I'm going to come onto my back. We're keeping the back nice and flat on the ground, feet up, and we're just going to push into that hip bridge and lower down. So I'm finding a nice straight line, don't overarch too much, so it's just the top of that range of motion whilst you're still flat, and releasing down. Pushing up and down. The glutes are the main focus here in terms of what we're trying to activate. So every time you push up towards the ceiling, you really want to make sure you're switching them on, squeezing them together nice and tight. Good, we'll go for 4 more. And then this time when you arrive, you're just going to hold it at the top there. And we're going to push forwards. So we lift the heels up. We're just going to do 10 little squeezes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you're going to release the foot down, lift the toes, and the same little squeezes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hopefully you're feeling a little burn there. Release those toes down, and we're just going to go for some little marches. So I'm lifting the foot all the way off and back down to the floor, trying to keep a nice stable core, really squeezing in the center to make sure we don't end up arching the back. You'll notice that I'm pointing my toes, total dancer thing, can't help but not, but it's not an absolute must. In fact, you can flex them if that feels nicer, or you can keep them relaxed. Good, we'll go for 3 more. Good, releasing the bum all the way down. And turning over to the other side of your mat. We're just going to do a little bit of work into the back this time. So reaching the hands forward out in front of you. We're just going to take a little lift. You're going to circle the arms backwards, back over the top, and down. Lifting up, back. With this exercise, we're really thinking about lifting the body up as high as you can, squeezing the glutes and keeping a nice length through both the arms and the legs, so reaching as far away as you can each time you do this. Here we go for 2 more. Good. From there, just push back into your child's pose position. Have a little wiggle around, whatever feels nice for you. And then we're just going to bring ourselves into a downward dog position. So if you're not familiar with this, I'm thinking about my hips being high. I'm in a triangle position with my hips being kind of the top of that triangle shape. I'm pushing my shoulders back and down, and I'm trying to create a nice long spine. As much as you can, those heels want to come into the mat. You may find if you're tight back there that they might be slightly raised, but that's absolutely fine. From this position, we're just going to take one leg and think about lengthening it away. So not up, but away and up. I find that parallel position, bring it all the way down. And take the other leg, pushing it up, away and up. And down. Take a little bend in those knees. And stretching up. This time, reaching away and up, you can start to rotate it and open it out. You can also bend the top part of the foot and relax it over the top. Don't worry about how high that is. This may depend on your flexibility. As long as you're feeling that stretch and open, that's all we're going for. Lifting up the other way, opening out. Bringing it all the way down and in. From here, you're going to walk this time your feet into your hands. If you can, keep some straight legs and those hands on the floor. If not, it's absolutely fine to have that slight bend in the back of the legs. Nod the head yes. Shake the head no. And relax down at the bottom. Just gradually to bring us up. I'm actually going to face you so you can see this. So from the bottom of this position, we're just finding a little side to side wave with the hands, fingers touching the floor. And then you're going to allow that to lift off and keep that moving side to side all the way up. And then just let that continue side to side, little twists. And then just to make this a little bit more active, we're going to take a lunge forward into that side twist, back and in. Stepping forward, obviously you can do this on your mat the right way. Feels a bit weird going this way. Twist. This is just so you can see. I'm keeping the core nice and stable, so as I step forward, in fact I will come this way now, as I step forward, I'm finding out that nice straight line through the spine here. And as you twist away from that front leg, and you're keeping a nice straight centre. So I'll do a few with you this way. Twist, centre, in. Good. Let's go for 2 more. Last one. As you can see, I like to really use my elbows to drive that. It just feels a little bit nicer. Coming back to face you, last little thing, we're just going to find some little balances. So I'm going to take the arms out to the side, find a little balance, engaging the core, releasing the hands down, and slowly lowering. So as I'm going down, really thinking as if somebody's pulling me up from the top of the head, nice and slow, nice and slow, nice and slow. Release. And we just go for 2 more of those. Bring the hands up, really reaching out to the sides. Drop those hands down, slowly lower through the legs. Good, 1 more. Hands up, drop, lower, real slow. Well done for making it through to the end of the workout. If you found that some of those moves were more tricky than others, or you got stuck, then just be reassured that mobility is something that we're continually working to improve. So the more you go through this workout, the more you will find you open up. So keep going.